Good to see everybody. Let's come to a nice, comfortable seat. And let's scoot forward in the chair a little bit, just so that there's a little space between you and the back of the chair. Really root down into your sit bones, and then let's roll our shoulders back a few times. Kind of just noticing how the neck and shoulders are feeling today. And you can start to roll forward. Good, we're gonna roll back again. And then allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. You can take your hands on top of your thighs. Do a little peek down at your feet. Just make sure that you're landing with your knees over your ankles. Feet are about hips distance apart. Allow your eyelids to close here if they're not already. And then you're going to take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. Again, smooth, deep, full inhale. Notice how the rib cage expands in all directions as you inhale. And then as you exhale, sigh the breath out through your mouth. Notice how everything contracts inward. Do that a few more times at your pace. Maybe with that exhale, you're letting go of any stress that you might have. You might be letting go of the to-do list. So as we start to connect with this breath, we bring our attention to our bodies, to where we are right now. We make the commitment that we're gonna be still, we're gonna breathe, we're gonna move for the next hour. I'm not gonna worry about all of the other things. We're gonna give ourselves this break, this opportunity to check in. And so as you feel ready, you're gonna start to move towards your Ujjayi breath, if that feels okay today. So in our Ujjayi breath, we are constricting the sides of the throat, making a little sound. It's kind of that sound you get when you're fogging a mirror with your breath, or like the sound of ocean waves rolling in and out. It's subtle. And some days that feels like too much. It is a heating breath. So if that's where you're at today, or if it's really hot where you're at, maybe skip the Ujjayi. So you're inhaling and exhaling through your nose, but it doesn't require any additional effort. And then again, inhale, there's that expansion of the rib cage. There's that lengthening through the sides of your waist. So it's almost like the inhale is breathing you a little taller. Can you keep that length? But then as you exhale, breathe down into your feet, breathe down into your sit bones so you're feeling a little more grounded. Maybe just continue to work with that imagery for the next several breaths. And maybe just move towards listening to your breath, getting really curious about that. So it's almost as though it drowns out any background noise. So everything happening around you in the space that you're in, it's secondary to your breath. And the same is true. So inside our head, we start thinking of thoughts that can get really, really noisy. Maybe the breath helps to obscure some of that. As you're here a few more moments, notice if there's tension any place in your body. So typically sitting here like this, it happens in our shoulders and our neck. They start to scrunch up towards the ears. But sometimes we can also feel a little tension in the inner thigh, the groin might grip. So do a little body scan, soften in the places where you can. Good. Take one more deep inhale. Open your mouth side up without, ha. Excuse me. Blink your eyes open, and then let's just move right away into some just gentle, easy, basic cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're gonna rock forward on your sit bones. It feels like a cobra pose in the upper body. Elbows gently squeeze in. As you exhale, you move in the opposite direction. Chin drops towards your chest. You're rounding in the thoracic, the upper spine. And then you just continue with this movement. Eyes could be open here if that's where you're at today. Just gazing in front of you. You're keeping your gaze soft and steady. So it's almost as though you're not even focusing on anything. Eyes might be closed here. I find that that usually feels really nice for me. And it helps you to get inside your body a little more. But again, just see what feels right for you. Sometimes with the eyes closed, we can feel a little unsteady. All right, as you continue this movement here, if it feels like you might want to add your right arm on your next inhale, you can stretch it forward and up. And then exhale, release down. Inhale, switch into the left arm. It can just be the tiniest, tiniest movement. Already in just a few moments' time, maybe your spine is starting to feel a little more open. And so it's pretty incredible. It doesn't take much movement to start to shift how we're physically feeling. This is why it feels so good to stretch in the morning when we wake up. The next time you finish that left side, if you'd like to play with extending both arms at the same time, you're welcome to do that. You might find that that gets into the core a little more. So of course, you can always try a variation. If it feels like too much, you just go back to where you were. Beautiful work. Okay, so if you're alternating arms still, just make sure that you're nice and even. But we're going to go ahead and place hands on thighs and start to rock around. So just coming into our Sufi rolls. These can be big or small. A little of both is probably ideal. Maybe just observe how, as you're shifting the weight from side to side, one sit bone gets a little lighter. And nice and easy, let's start to switch directions. Good. Start to make your circles a little smaller so you're moving towards coming towards that nice tall seat. So nice Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, let's drop our chin towards our chest. I noticed for me right away, my shoulders wanted to creep up towards the ears, help out a little bit. And see if you can soften them down. That might mean that you need to lift your head a little bit. So especially this first one. Back of the neck gets really tight. Check in with that breath again. Make sure that you have that nice inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Good. Inhale, lift your chin so it's parallel to the floor. Exhale, just take that right ear towards your right shoulder. And you're going to feel sensation many places, but especially in that left side of your neck. And again, notice if that shoulder's creeping up, trying to help out, soften it down. And keep that breath moving. Maybe visualize your exhale going to the spots that are particularly tight. Inhale, center. Exhale, left ear drops, towards left shoulder. The second side might be a completely different experience. It might be a little easier, it might be a little harder. So always observing these things, noticing, not necessarily even trying to change them, just becoming aware of them. Good. Inhale, center, and then let's just find a little flow with that. So as you exhale, chin towards chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, chin towards chest. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale up to center. So let's do 3 complete rounds of that. I'm not going to cue you. You can follow along with me, or you can just move with your own breath. Again, closing your eyes here might feel kind of nice. There's 0 rush. And in fact, in some ways, it might feel really nice to just move pretty slow. Good. So when you've completed 3 full cycles, you'll go ahead and again, just tuck your chin towards your chest and you'll hold there. And you'll observe how this feels. Has it gotten a little easier? Has the back of the neck, those muscles there stopped gripping? Is there a little more release? And then this time, keeping the chin tucked, take several rounds of breath to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. And with the chin tucked, you're going to get into some different spots in the neck and shoulders. If you get to a spot that feels particularly good in your body, and that might be a hurt so good kind of a situation, hang out there for a couple of breaths. Maybe you'd like to release your left fingertips off that thigh. That will intensify things a little bit. You can always try it. If it feels too intense, you put that hand back on your thigh. Maybe you want to lift that left arm a little. That always gets into some interesting places. Some days it feels pretty good. Some days it feels like too much. And check in with your shoulders, both of them. Make sure that they're not creeping up around your ears. All right, so let's go ahead and if you don't have your left arm extended, go ahead and lift it up. Spin your palm up towards the ceiling. And then take that arm all the way up and over. So we're kind of like in a little side bend. And then maybe start to lift your chin and bring your gaze up underneath that top arm. So a little side stretch. Press a little more weight into that left sit bone. One more deep inhale. Good. And then exhale, come upright. Hand to thigh, tuck your chin. And then keeping your chin tucked, moving super, super slow. There's no rush. This is like the race where you want to be the last. Start to bring that left ear towards your left shoulder. Linger when things get a little interesting. And just make sure that that breath is moving. And perhaps you just reach those right fingertips towards the floor. You could even just imagine that there's a weight tied to your wrist and tractioning you towards the floor. And remember, this side might feel a lot different. So if this is too intense, you skip this variation. You might start to reach that right arm up any amount. It gets into some interesting places in the underarm, kind of the back of the shoulder, the armpit area, I find. Good, and then we're all gonna lift our arm. We're gonna spin our right palm up towards the ceiling, take that arm up and over. So we're in a little side stretch with the chin tucked. And then perhaps you start to lift and bring your gaze up underneath that top arm. Put a little weight into that right sit bone. It's probably lifting up a bit. Breath smooth and steady. Good deep inhale. Exhale, come to center. And then let's just release both arms by our sides. Peek at your feet again. Just adjust your posture if you need to make little adjustments. So just making sure that you're landing with your knees over your ankles. You're rooting evenly into your sit bones. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to just flow side to side, getting that lateral stretch. Exhale. Inhale, right arm up and over. We're reaching to the left. Gorgeous. As you exhale, release. And find your pace here. So just flowing side to side, moving with the breath at a pace that feels good, organic in your body today. Enjoying this stretching through the side body. I find that it's like one of my favorite things. It's amazing how tight we can get there. Beautiful work. Let's do a few more full, complete cycles. And then the next time you're leaning off to the right, hang out there again. Maybe this time you want to extend that right arm up a little bit and at an angle. Take a couple breaths there, feel that stretch. And then thumbs down, so your palm is facing behind you. Maybe you bend the elbow and find a little half wrap here. So you can just basically press the back of your hand into your spine, and then you're just drawing that right shoulder back. Again, as you wrap those right ribs up, maybe gazing up underneath that top arm. Good, let's keep the arms as they are. Inhale, your torso back upright. So you're like in this mountain pose. Bend your left elbow. So not necessarily trying to interlace fingers. If you did have a strap handy, you could use that, hold on to that. But basically you could just be pressing both palms into the back, into your back. Reaching left elbow up towards the ceiling as you press your right shoulder back. Beautiful work. So let's inhale, release. And then exhale, we side bend to the left. So we hold here for a few breaths. Put a little weight, put our brain into that right sit bone. Feel both shoulder blades releasing down your back, even with the arms in this configuration. Maybe go ahead and reach that left arm out. Couple breaths here, just feeling what this does in your body, where you get sensation and stretch. And then thumbs down so your palm faces to spin behind you. Bend that elbow. So we're kind of just finding a little half wrap, pressing the back of your left hand into your spine, using that leverage to draw your left shoulder head back behind you. Make sure you're breathing. All right, here we go. We inhale up, and then you can spin your right palm to face behind you. Bend that elbow. So the arms are doing two different things here. One is internally rotated, one is externally rotated at the shoulder. You're reaching up through that right elbow as you press that left shoulder head back. While that's happening, you're feeling both sit bones root down into your chair. Good. Let's inhale, stretch the arms apart. And then exhale, just release the arms down by your side. I don't know about you, but I kind of got some like blood coming back to the shoulders. So give them a little wiggle, shake, stretch out, whatever you need. From here, we're going to move into some of our half sun salute. So we'll do a few rounds of that just to feel a little more flow. So this is a good place to set up your blocks if you have them with you. Not necessary, but they can be nice. And you can just take one on either side of your feet. And you can use whatever height feels good. All right, here we go. So releasing your arms by your sides. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale, you can stretch your arms out and up, or you can reach forward and up. Kind of depends on what feels good for you. Sometimes that's dictated by the space that we're practicing in. As you exhale, you can swan dive in, or maybe you use your hands to your thighs to help you roll on down. When you get here again, find this chin to chest feeling. You can release fingertips down. As you inhale, here's where you might take your hands to your blocks. You could also bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. So we're lengthening forward, your gaze comes forward. Exhale, you fold back in, Uttanasana. And then we root down into our feet. So you can reverse swan dive up, or you can use your hands to help you roll up. Maybe you gaze up as your palms press. As you exhale, you can take the arms out wide, or you might just bring palms down to heart center. Beautiful. All All right, let's do a few more here. Inhaling, reaching up, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain pose. As we exhale, we fold into our Uttanasana, so deep forward fold. Inhale, we come into our Ardha Uttanasana, so this is our half forward fold. Exhale back into Uttanasana. Inhale, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands come together at your heart, Samastitihi, even standing in mountain pose. So 3 more of these. I'm not going to cue you. You can move along with me. You can move faster than me. You can move slower than me. You're really intuiting what it is that your body needs, maybe even what your brain needs. You're moving with that rhythm of your breath to your metronome. You're enjoying how these feel. You're trying to find this sense of gracefulness, of spaciousness, and connectedness. So connecting breath to movement, being really present in your body, your physical shape. You all know I'm such a fan of these sun salutes. I think over the years, they've sort of just become a mechanism of getting like a really healthy dopamine hit. So maybe you're feeling that a little bit. They're like an old friend. They're like your favorite pair of jeans with a $10 bill in the pocket that you forgot about. I'm not going to lie, I think I've lost count. So I'm going to do one more for good measure. If you're done with your 3rd round and you've had enough, just hang out in your mountain pose. If you want to do another one, or if you're just finishing that 3rd round, again, just take your time. And when you get to your mountain pose, just pause with your palms together at your heart. Allow your eyelids to close. And check in. Notice how you're feeling. We're a little over halfway through our class. How does your seat feel different? Maybe it feels like you've grown a little taller. There's a little more space inside your body, your spine. You might feel a little calmer, more focused. You might feel a little heat. From here, we're going to blink our eyes open and we're going to move into some externally rotated standing poses, and we'll do a little flow with that as well. So moving towards our Virabhadrasana 2, our Warrior 2, and there's a few different ways that can look. And then we'll take that into our extended side angle pose and our reverse warrior pose. So we're looking for a little hip opening in this right leg. Doesn't have to be huge. It might be the tiniest amount, but just finding a little opening with that leg. We are looking for our knee to land over our ankle. So sometimes what happens here is we get the knee over the toes. Actually, not a bad stretch, but just not what we're wanting for this pose. So this would be variation 1. You just stay like this, keep the left leg exactly as it is. You might play with extending that left leg to straight. And then the final option here would be to take that left leg out wide. I'm rolling to the inner edge of the foot. So this back leg is more neutral, whereas we're getting this external rotation in the front leg. So you can kind of play around, see what feels good. And then I want you to kind of feel like you're pressing down into your sit bones here. So we're not twisting towards this right leg, but rather we're squaring our torso to our camera. From here, we're going to inhale, take the arms up. And then the only thing that changes is that you bring your gaze out over those right fingertips. We're going to take about 7 or 8 breaths here. It's a pretty strong pose. I find keeping the arms up is challenging, but if I can firm muscle to bone a little more, it actually becomes a little easier. You're listening to that sound of your breath, the inhale through your nose, the exhale through your nose. All right, so we're going to transition into our reverse warrior. Spin your right palm to face up towards the ceiling. And then as you inhale, it's like that side stretch that we've already visited today, except for that we're doing it with this variation in our legs. Left hand can rest on your left thigh, fingertips can reach towards the ceiling. Getting all of this length through the right side, it feels really, really good. Can you wrap those left ribs up? Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top hand. And breath smooth and steady. Root into your sit bones here. We inhale back into our Virabhadrasana 2. And then exhale, it's like your little teapot kind of hinging there at that hip crease. Right forearm comes to your right thigh. So let's just take a couple of breaths here with shoulder blades kind of stacking on top of each other. And then perhaps you start to extend that left arm up and over. So coming into the full expression of this pose, Utthita Hasta Parshvottanasana, extended side angle pose. It's kind of a doozy. It's also really lovely. And in this pose, we're trying to wrap our right ribs up towards the ceiling. So it's the opposite of what we were doing in our reverse warrior just a couple moments ago. All right, and then just to like get into the shoulder a little bit, you can kind of bring your gaze down and then kind of like you're doing a freestyle stroke and then open that arm up. So just doing a few circles here in that shoulder joint, which should feel pretty nice. And if it doesn't feel good, you skip it. So if you've got stuff going on in that rotator cuff in the shoulder. And then just end one more time in your Parshvottanasana. And then find your core, inhale, back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Let's exhale, release the arms down. And then just stretching out that same shoulder. Let's go ahead and inhale, reach this left arm up. Spin the palm to face behind you so you're getting internal rotation. Bend the elbow. And this time we're going to take our right hand and gently press down. So you should be feeling a nice stretch on the outseam of this left arm. Good. So let's inhale, stretch both arms up. As you exhale, find your Virabhadrasana 2. So bring your gaze out over your right fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Good. So one full movement here. Exhale into your extended side angle pose. Good. Inhale back into Virabhadrasana 2. Take an exhale here, feel your sit bones. Inhale, find your reverse. These look gorgeous. Exhale, keep all of this length through the right side of your waist as you transition into your extended side angle pose. Good, inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hold the pose. One more round, inhale. Find your reverse warrior. Good. Exhale into your extended side angle pose. Good. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. And exhale, just release your arms down. We're going to take that little sequence to the second side. So if that left leg is extended, just walk it back in. Bring that right leg back to center and then make any little adjustments that you need to here. Find your nice Tadasana, your mountain pose. It's like a palate cleanser here. And just know as we move into the second side, there might be different things going on in your body. So this side might look different than the first side did. So again, we're looking for some amount of hip opening in this left leg. It might be the tiniest amount. That's absolutely fine. For those of us who are a little more open in the hips, it might move more towards like a classic Virabhadrasana 2 position. Could stay here like this. Maybe you extend that right leg to straight. Maybe you open up that leg, but you're rolling in. So you're rolling to the inner edge of that right foot. So again, this right leg is neutral. Left leg, we're getting that external rotation. I'm going to twist my torso to face towards my camera. So, and it especially feels like I'm dragging those left ribs forward a lot. I'm going to inhale, lift the arms. And then exhale, just bring my gaze. So I'm just moving my neck here out over my left fingertips. Firming muscle to bone in my arm. So I'm working the arms a lot. It feels counterintuitive, but it's almost like the more you flex those muscles, the easier it is to hold the arms up. And that being said, it's not easy. Breath smooth and steady. You might kind of press to the inner edge of your left foot if that's a sensation that's available to you. And maybe that helps you to feel like you're wrapping this inner left thigh towards your outer left thigh a little more so you're getting that maximal hip opening. Really strong, beautiful pose. Flip your left palm up towards the ceiling. We find a reverse. All right. So up and over here. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. You got all this length on the left side, but there's a little twist of the right ribs up towards the ceiling. And you really visualize rooting into your right foot, whatever configuration that leg is in. So that leg is really strong. All right, let's inhale up, Virabhadrasana 2. And then lengthen through this left side as you hinge at this left hip crease. Bring your forearm to that left thigh. And you can even kind of drag that forearm back and that leg back. So you're going to get a little more hip opening that way. Shoulder blades start out stacking on top of each other. And then we're going to reach that arm up overhead. So we come into the full expression of the pose. We've got this beautiful line through the right side of our body. You might be gazing up underneath that right arm if it feels okay. Good, and then we get into this shoulder socket. So it's like a little freestyle stroke. And then you can open up that palm. You're just noticing how this feels. Beautiful work. Good. And then we land back in our extended mountain pose. Or not extended mountain pose, extended Parsvakonasana. Good. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. Good. And then I probably did this sequence wrong, but let's go ahead and stretch that right arm up. Spin the palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow. And then take your left hand on top of that elbow. It's getting a little stretch. The outer seam of this right arm, might be feeling it in the armpit chest area. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. I think the rain is coming to Brighton. All right, let's inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. We flow here. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, find that extended side angle. Beautiful work. Inhale. Take an exhale here. Good. Inhale, reverse. Exhale all the way up and over into your extended side angle. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Take an exhale. Final one here. Inhale, reverse. Good. Exhale. And then inhale. As you exhale, release your arms down. Go ahead and bring that right leg back to center. And then the left. And let's take our hands on top of our thighs. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. And then just return to inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And let's move into our 4-part breathing, our box breath. So we're going to inhale to the count of 6. We're going to hold to the count of 6. We'll exhale to 6, hold to 6, and then we'll just continue with that several rounds. So nice deep inhale here together. Full complete exhale, empty out. Good. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You continue here. So you keep working with that 6 count if that works for you. You can slow it down. You can stretch it out. You can do a 4 or a 5 count. But do about 4 or 5 complete cycles of this box breath on your own. And just notice how good it feels to do it in silence and stillness. So as you feel ready, if you're enjoying working with your box breath, you can definitely stick with that for another moment or two. If you're ready to move towards a final resting pose, you're going to come into some semblance of Shavasana. And what that means is that you're just finding a place where you can relax, kind of shift gears. You might stay exactly where you're at. You might take a little forward fold. That can be really nice if you have a desk or a table, chair in front of you. You might come into a classic Shavasana on the floor, so corpse pose, just laying down, stretching out. Whatever this looks like for you, wherever you're at, give yourself permission not to worry about all of the things that you need to get done the rest of today, this week. Let the bones feel heavy. Let the muscles just melt off the bones. Encourage the brain to stay quiet for a few more moments. Just melting in here, soaking up these final still minutes of class that we have together. Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotigamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And just start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. So wiggle, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out, anything that feels good here. And then you'll eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude. Send your body love and gratitude. We send each other love and gratitude. Thank yourself for showing up and working hard. Promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling you've worked to create with you into the rest of the day and week ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Excellent work today, everybody. Good to be back and to see all of you.